is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the In Off the Bench podcast. I am your host, Daniel Ball, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Jim Cross. And Jim, we are talking championship gymnastics again with Oklahoma gymnast Lizzy Blessey. But before she joins us, man, I got to pay some bills around this place. The In Off the Bench podcast is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis. Whether it's bourbon or vodka, whiskey or gin, Old Dominick's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or just to pick up your favorite bottle. Memphis City Designs. Get your brands, gear, and logos from anything from shoes to underoos. Hey, you can even pick up your In Off the Bench gear while supplies last for the holiday season coming up. I know the hoodies are out there. It's about to get cold, and nothing fits better, feels better, makes you look good than an In Off the Bench hoodie in your team's color. So check it out. Let's get it. Jim, we got to get to it. Help me welcome onto the show with the biggest interview in podcasting this week, Oklahoma gymnast Lizzy Blessey.
Hey, it's funny. It's Lizzy, but because I was doing all the research, then y'all want to be like, hello, Elizabeth. How are you doing?
You're very formal.
No, I'm just kidding. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're always excited and blessed to be able to talk gymnastics. Baseball.
Hold on a second. Before we get started, Lizzy, I don't want to ransack your episode, but this is kind of a special day, and I want to make sure it's known because I'm sure you feel the same way I do. Jim, thank you for your service. Former Navy, United States Navy member right here. Veteran. He's got the sling on and everything. He's just reliving his glory days. Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that has served, everybody that is serving. It's a great day for America.
Yes, thank you for your service.
Absolutely. So, Lizzy, you'll love what I did today. I went a different route. So on social media, everybody likes to post the pictures of themselves in uniform, but back in the day. So on Facebook, I decided that I was going to put me and all my friends in our regular clothes being stupid and say, Happy Veterans Day. Instead of the pictures of us sharp in uniform, here's the pictures of us when we're not in uniform. And basically every one of us looking like absolute clowns. And why not? Because it was something fun and something different. And people loved it because at the end of the day, just like no different than y'all in college, because we're the same age, you got to be professional and professional, got to have fun when you have fun. So
Right.
I mean, 20-something years ago, man, you looked a lot different, especially not in uniform. Even in uniform.
Did you realize those in the pictures? While Lizzy, my daughter says I'm like Adam Sandler because I wear basketball shorts everywhere. But what she doesn't realize is in these pictures, you either see me in uniform or if we went out, I always wore a button-up shirt and a tie anywhere. So I spent 5.5 years wearing either uniform to work or outside of work. So now I'm just trying to live the good life and go basketball shorts and tennis shoes everywhere, and I have no shame. I just want to be comfortable.
I love it. It's great.
So I was saying we were blessed to have you on. We've been talking a lot of baseball, but trying to get ourselves in gymnastics mode because we get a lot of messages saying baseball season's on deck. It's almost here. And we're like, hey, Daniel, gymnastics comes before baseball. And people who aren't watching gymnastics, you better learn because it's going down. And that's why we got those tickets. And we cannot wait to Oklahoma City, Daniel. Literally, the four that are together with Oklahoma on Saturday. I don't know if this was created at random or if they said, you know what, these are the four that are going to be in Fort Worth together for the finals. Let's just go ahead and see it early and get them prepared for later. What do you think?
I don't want to throw any rumors or spoiler alerts, but Jim and I were the ones who scheduled this. We knew how the teams are going to shake out, and we have a knack for knowing what the best talent is.
If I could pick a replacement, though, Daniel, our girl Shay Campbell is amazing. She's sweet.
Very true.
UCLA wants to replace Utah. By all means, we can have that. As a matter of fact, she's getting us Emily Lee on the show, so we'll have a second UCLA guest. But that's not about them. It's about you. And I got a scenario for you right out the gate. This is a little bit different, Lizzy. It's something that I never expected to happen this weekend. I'm at LSU, Alabama. We're tailgating. I go to get something out of my car, and I say to my friend Josh, there's ants everywhere. Where did these ants come from? And then he's looking and he goes, those aren't ants. Those are spiders. And there's little baby spiders everywhere. A mama had laid an egg in my door jamb. So what do you do in a moment like this? I'm at a tailgate. It just so happens Kay Beloso's dad, Hi Rob Beloso, was not tailgating. He was actually running a pest control tent that they had a display on right outside the PMAC. Blessing in disguise. So I go a half-mile walk over there. I get a can, fumigate the car, and get rid of them. But I bring this scenario up to you because my wife said in real time, I should just light the car on fire. So if it's your car, Lizzy, are you figuring out a way to solve the problem, or are we just torching this thing?
Ooh, see, I don't really do spiders. It's not my thing. I probably would run for help, honestly, first. I would evacuate the car. I would abandon the car and go find someone to help me because me and bugs, no.
I don't do them either. And the babies were one thing. It was when my friend decided to make the comment out loud and say, with babies, there's a mother somewhere around here. Thanks for pointing that out. Like now, eyes in the back of my head, like, where's this thing at? Arachnophobias. Something I never expected to happen at an LSU tailgate, but here we are.
That's a crazy story.
We'll go from the bad.
Walking home.
Yeah, we'll go from the bad to the good. Disney characters. If you could be any Disney character, doesn't even have to be a girl. Like be Wally the robot. If you could be any Disney character, who you want to be?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I watched a lot of Disney growing up, so honestly, I think I would want to be Nemo from Finding Nemo.
Nice. That's a new one, Daniel. I love it. Everybody loves Nemo. Every time we walk into an aquarium, seen them a million times, and you're like, look, it's Nemo. They get excited. So I dig it. Something new.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. Best ride at Disney to take a nap, Finding Nemo.
Yeah, they didn't. That one's definitely a little kid ride. That one's a little kid ride.
That's where I go to cool off and take a nap.
Look, all I know is the stuff that they're coming out with next year, Daniel, they've been putting all those videos out. Dude, everybody start reserving your tickets. Disney 2025 is going to be insane.
Yes.
Lizzy's going to go there when she wins her national championship.
Oh, yeah.
All right, one last icebreaker question. Got to know, when it comes to music, if you could go anywhere and see anyone, who are you going to see in concert? And if you could go see them anywhere, where are you going?
Well, I actually saw Zach Bryan when he was in New Orleans back in May of 23. Best concert ever. Loved it. It was great. I would gladly see him again, but I feel like I would rather see him out of state, maybe honestly, if he was in Nashville, that would be great. Like the vibes would be so good. And I would gladly see him again. I also saw Taylor Swift a little bit ago. I don't know if I'd necessarily see her again, but
I think the Zach Bryan in Nashville. Daniel tells every guest that says a country artist in Nashville, you can't go wrong with that. That is the ideal place to go see them.
Right. It's top tier.
Let me tell you something. I went to Taylor Swift on my birthday. It wasn't a birthday present for me, but it was a good time. This wasn't the Eras tour. This was the one before that. And everybody had a good time. She puts on a good show.
She does.
Zach Bryan, out of all the country music, I do like his music the best. I'm not the biggest country music fan, but if I was going to listen to something country, I think he makes the cut. However, he's in some hot water as of late.
I have heard that.
Rumors.
Give me the. I don't know about this. What are we talking about here?
I don't know all the deets, and I don't want to put any slanderous info out there, but his ex-girlfriend just threw him under the tour bus, like big time. And the whole time he's posting that he's just been in the studio for 40 days straight, just pumping out hits. So I don't know, but I'll look into it. More to come on Zach Bryan.
I just know I would not go see Zach Bryan over going to see Lizzy do gymnastics. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Maybe she's in Nashville and Zach Bryan's playing there too, and you can kind of get a 2-for-1.
Maybe.
A little special. All right, Lizzy, let's get into it. Your story. Tell us about it. Just kidding.
Well,
Just kidding.
I was ready to go.
What are you doing?
I
He's
will.
never done that
I will
to
guide
anybody. I don't
I
know
will
what he was
guide you
doing to
through it.
you.
I was gonna see if she was like, okay, here we go. Well, let me
It's
open
like,
up.
he's
I was
not
ready
going
to
to ask
roll.
where. I mean, he usually asks where you're from, and so I'm like, what did he just do there? He just left it out there.
No, we
Frankly.
got to start with your home. Where's home for you?
So I'm from a small town in Louisiana called Mandeville. It's 30 minutes outside of New Orleans.
You know, everybody all of our guests that live in Louisiana, they always go small town. And most of the time, like I would be like, okay, it's probably like not as small as they picture it. But anytime someone says Louisiana and they say small town, I immediately go, yep, that's probably pretty small.
It is pretty
So
small.
Mandeville, if I
I'll put
go
it to you
there,
this way, Daniel. Notice I stuck around. I obviously got to go, but I stayed because I got to hear about Mandeville because I love Louisiana, and they're all small towns, but they're all amazing because the people are second to none.
so when Jim goes back there, what's the one thing he needs to do when he stops off in Mandeville? Is it touch, taste, feel, see, experience? What is that one thing?
Ooh, well, so we're on the North Shore. So I'm across from New Orleans, and there's like the lakefront, and you can walk and like see the water, and it's really nice. I mean, there's not much to do in Mandeville. That's why it's pretty small, but I mean, definitely get some good Louisiana food while you're there. If it's crawfish season, definitely get some crawfish.
But like
But
I
yeah,
said, they'll all be like family with you, Daniel. That's the beauty of it.
I don't doubt that for a second. Speaking of family, you got 3 siblings. You got mom, dad in the picture. Like, what's the family dynamic? Are you the oldest, the middle child, the youngest? Where do you fall?
so I'm actually the second. I have an older sister, and then I have a younger sister and a younger brother. So we're a full house. We're all pretty close in age, so we all get along pretty well. You know, the occasional sibling fights, but
Occasional, like every day, every week. Like when I was growing
That's
up, my sister and I used to fight all the time, like every day. It was something. Obviously, you mature out of that, but now my 2 daughters, and one is 7, she just turned 7, and the other is a year and a half. And like the 7-year-old, like doesn't physically do anything, but I can see like the wheels in her head spinning. Like, girl, if you weren't 1.5, it would be on. But thankfully, no punches are being thrown yet. So,
that's good.
it was there a lot of drama? Was there some tough love dished out as you were growing up?
I mean, yeah, I think when we were younger, but as we got older, we've kind of respected each other more, you know, not as much fighting going on. And then especially since I've moved away, I'm not with my siblings as much anymore. So I miss them a lot. I appreciate them more now that I'm away. I'm like, I miss them. So
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what I was referring to when you kind of mature out of it. You really understand what it means to have siblings, brothers and sisters and stuff like that. You know, I appreciate my sister, you know, as I got towards the middle half of high school, and then now we're very close. But you know, obviously growing up, you know,
I think that's
you're
just
fighting all the time.
the way it is. I mean, me and my sister are the same way now. You know, for years now, do anything for each other. I think the younger years are just, they are what they are, right? And they're always learning experiences. And a lot of the athletes we have on that are younger siblings, they, you know, they're better for it.
Well, big family either way. You could get lost in the shuffle. That's why you're an elite gymnast, because you're setting the bar for everybody. You're like, I'm not getting left out. I'm gonna be the favorite child.
The amount of time it takes for gymnastics. You know, our last guest, you know, Jordan Kane was the only child, and so it was easy for her parents to navigate her gymnastics schedule. I don't know how you navigate it with that many kids.
yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard. My mom, when I would travel for meets, it was usually my mom who would bring me places, and my dad would stay home with my other siblings. And I think my other siblings understood my rigorous schedule and my travel schedule, so everyone was okay with it. We were all always on the same page. So it was pretty good. I know some people have to, live in apartments away from home to like train at club gyms and stuff. And I was fortunate enough to live close to my club gym, and I stayed there my entire time doing gymnastics. So I was very loyal to that program, and they taught me so much. So everyone worked really well with my career, and it went good. So
Lizzy, you're like probably like the 30th gymnast we've had on. I've never asked this question, but I just thought of it. Daniel has a daughter who's 7. She is a gymnast, hoping that she'll pan out, to the level that y'all are. What would be your like one tip or advice as a dad, like to manage everything? Like, do you have any wisdom for him?
I think just let her do her thing, and let her enjoy it. My dad never really got involved. There's a lot of parents that get super involved in their kids' sports, and I think sometimes they get overwhelmed and burnt out. And my dad used to always say, stay the heck out of it. He'd be like, just stay out of it, because the more involved you get, sometimes it gets overwhelming for your kid and stuff, and just let them enjoy what they love to do. And obviously, like, be there for them, because gymnastics can be really hard mentally and physically, but if you're just there for them and just support them in any decision they make, and it goes pretty well.
My daughter had a coach we had a parents meeting, the best advice I was ever given. I called Daniel right after this, and he said, your daughters are at the level and the caliber that they know already what they did wrong. And I'm going to address that with them. What they don't need is for you to tell them what they did wrong. And he's like, so when they get in the car and things went wrong, just love on them. They don't need you to tell them what they already know. And I was like, you know what? You're right. So shout out to that coach for getting into me and all the other dads who were ready to give our daughters the business after a bad weekend.
Right.
I got 3 simple rules that I try to live by. All right. And this is what I tell my daughter. 1, listen. Do your best is number 2. And the third one, which is super important, is don't prevent others from getting better. Those are my 3. If you can do those 3 things, then you can be as good or as bad at the sport.
Number 3 wasn't have fun, like a rec coach would say.
No, because I that goes without saying.
Winning is fun.
Winning, that's what I try to tell her. What's more fun, falling and failing, or doing it right and winning?
Lizzy's like, I ain't never had a coach that after we lost was like, wasn't that fun?
Wasn't that so much fun? No, it wasn't. All right, Lizzy. Obviously, you competed. North Shore Gymnastics. You were 2023 Women's Development Program Level 10 Nationals. You were a vault specialist. 2022 Level 9 Eastern Nationals vault champion. That was in 2022. You placed 2nd on floor and 3rd in all around in 2022. Region 8 Level 9 vault and floor champion in 2022. I mean, was there anything you didn't do in 2022? It was a big year for you. Louisiana State all around. Let me ask you this, 2 questions. All right. The first one is, like, when you are able to accomplish those things, like, you got to have some type of influence. Like, who is influencing you and who's pushing you and driving you to be that good?
Well, I think a lot of it just comes from internally, like myself. I've always had a perfectionist mindset, and it can help me out. Sometimes it hurts me, but for the most part, I have a lot of like self-drive to do well. But obviously my coaches pushed me so much, and they always saw potential in me. So they pushed me hard. I would push myself hard. And there was a lot of success in the outcome. So I was really proud, especially that year. 2022 was a really good year for me, and Nationals 2023. That was just like a great time for me in my club career. So.
Well, I mean, you look at it, and that's a lot of accolades. That's a lot of high-level events that you're doing and doing really well at. When you look back on your career there, what was your favorite meet? Was it one of those listed, or was it something totally separate?
Actually, I think Nationals 2022 was probably the highlight of my career, because that year, like, leading up to this season, obviously athletes have up and downs a lot. Personally, I was having more downs than ups at the time, but when I got to the end of the season, I finally had hit a moment where I was, doing better, and I felt stronger and more confident in myself. And I think gaining mental confidence is what really helped me that year. And then I got to that meet and I hit my routines, and I just remember being so happy, especially on bars, because me and bars don't mix very well. Bars has always been a hard event for me. And when I got out there and I hit bars, like the look on my coach's face, and like he saw it on my face too. And we both were just so happy. And oh my gosh, it was just the best day ever. Like I'll never forget it.
It's like when the Cowboys play Aaron Rodgers and he throws a pass and you're just like, it's going to be that kind of Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be terrible all season until the game I want him to be terrible, and he's going to just be all world. And then the next week when he's not playing the Cowboys, guess what? He's going to be terrible again. Yeah, I kid, but it's one of those things where what people don't understand about gymnastics is there's such a small room for error, and you could score wise not be where you're at, but have an amazing meet, or vice versa. You could have an okay meet, but have a place better than what you
It's
actually
as simple as
performed.
last year when I was in Fort Worth watching Oklahoma, right, Daniel? One bad event, for them with the vault. I mean, they were the best at the other three, but it didn't matter because once you have that stumble with those 4 teams meeting up, you didn't have that kind of room for error.
Yeah, and when you have that kind of success, obviously the next thought is, what am I going to do next? What's the next level? And so for you, it seemed like it was college and at Oklahoma. So being a Louisiana girl, why the travel to Oklahoma? And take away the championships, because I get all that. Like if you're like basing it solely on winning, then that's fine. But was there anything else about Oklahoma where you're like, you know what, that this is the place for me?
Yeah, well, so in the beginning of my recruiting process, a lot of people would get recruited earlier on, like junior year, sophomore year, and my recruiting process was a bit different. I actually went to a showcase at WOGA in Texas, summer of 23, I guess, so July, and Coach Lou Ball was there, and he was looking at everyone, and I had never had Oklahoma on my radar at all, was not considering it or anything. And then after Lou had reached out to me, he wanted to talk to me and everything, and so did KJ. And I was like, whoa, it's like, hold up. Wait, Oklahoma wants to talk to me? And I was like fangirling, and I didn't think it would ever happen. I was like, this is crazy. So then I talked to KJ a little bit, and we went through the recruiting process. I was like, whoa, okay, like I have a good connection with KJ already. Like we'd have hour phone calls, and I just felt like I was talking to someone I had known my whole life. I talked to Lou a little bit, and I got to learn more about the program. And like national championships aside, there's just something so special about Oklahoma. Like at first you don't really know what it is, but then you just feel like a connection. Like when I got on campus, I just was like, this is where I want to be. Like the team chemistry, the coaching staff is just top tier. Like it can't get better than the coaching staff that we have.
I mean, I saw, all the pictures that were being posted, of all the girls we've had on, whether, Danielle or Audrey or Faith, just hanging out with all the girls that were being recruited, at the football games and everything. And it was like, who wouldn't want to be a part of that culture and that team? And so, I mean, I get it on top of the coaching staff, like you said, but like you just see the camaraderie with those girls and how they're like family. And obviously, it's all championships and winning with them. It's like, I mean, I'd have to.
Right.
But I'm curious though, was LSU a consideration being from Louisiana?
So yes, LSU was a consideration, and I was narrowing down my last schools, and I was definitely considering LSU. But I think that the deal breaker for me was definitely I had always wanted to go away from home. I just think personally for me to grow and develop as an adult in my life, I wanted to get away and do my own thing and feel more independent. And so LSU, I was considering it, but going away from home and being part of this program, like this opportunity, I would have never thought that Oklahoma would have found me, let alone offered me a spot on this team. So this opportunity was just mind-boggling to me, and I was so grateful, and I just had to take it, and I don't regret it at all.
No, I think it's the right move. Obviously, I love the state of Louisiana. Like I was saying, I love LSU, but I absolutely get that. And as somebody who joined the military to travel the world, I definitely get it. Like me and Daniel did the same thing. Like we both are from Memphis. We got out of Memphis like as soon as we had the opportunity, and so I absolutely see that. The other contender. Tell me it wasn't Florida. You weren't considering Florida, were you?
I was not. No.
Thank goodness. Okay, we would have had to question you. No. But let's talk about that culture. So you do come from Louisiana, where I said it's just different. It's its own vibe. When you get to Oklahoma, I was talking about the football games, talking about all those girls. Just talk about that. Was there much of a culture shock for you, or is it kind of seamless just going from one to the other?
To me, it feels pretty similar. I mean, it's a big school environment. The community here is great. I don't really think that it's much of a big change, really.
What about the food?
Oh, well, the food's different. I do miss Louisiana food
Okay.
so much. And something I'll definitely miss is because I'll be here for Mardi Gras because we'll be traveling and stuff. I'm going to miss Mardi Gras and king cake and that whole culture and vibe. But
you will be
okay.
You will be at LSU February 14th. So you will be there in the month of February. You'll get to see everything decked out still. As a matter of fact, you need to tell the girls. I'm sure they'll let y'all, especially if you win at LSU, be like, look, we need to go ahead and make the rest of the trip to New Orleans and go check it out.
That's so true. I told them, I was like, we need to try beignets and king cake, and y'all need to try all the good Louisiana food. Like, I would tell them, I was like, do you know what jambalaya is? What's that? I was like, how do you not know what jambalaya is?
Well, what's great is when I saw that date on there, me and my wife never actually do something on Valentine's Day because everybody does, right? It's crowded, it's expensive, and so when I see this on February 14th, I'm like, it's fine. Me and my wife usually do something on 13th to 15th. So what a perfect day for the Oklahoma LSU meet. So she's probably going to come with me to that. And if not, like I told you, my son loves it. Like he's all about some Haley Bryant. That was the first girl that he actually told. He went up to her 2 years ago and told her that she was an alien, because what she had did wasn't human. And she just smiled big because she got the compliment. She understood what he was trying to get across. And you love a 10-year-old who's just speaking his mind, right?
Right.
But, talking about those upperclassmen, I have never seen a group. What a year for you to come in and be able to learn and lean into, Jordan, Danielle, Faith, Danae, Audrey, like the list goes on, like just all amazing girls. What's it been like being able to practice and learn? I've seen the videos that Oklahoma's put out. I mean, it's got to be awesome with a, whole iron sharpens iron. Like you just got to be taking in a lot.
Oh, yes, of course. These girls are they're such good role models for me. And just like you said, iron sharpens iron. Like, again, when I first got here, I was like, oh my gosh, like Jordan Bowers, Audrey Davis. Like I was like fangirling. I'm like, this is crazy. But they are really such encouraging teammates. And Danny especially, like she's always giving me high fives. And she's like, come on, Lizzy, you can do this. And it makes, it really brings out the best in me. And I think that we have such a good dynamic with the underclassmen and upperclassmen because we just like feed off of each other's energy. And so in the gym, it makes it really positive and we all want to do really well. So it's been very good.
Daniel, we talk about it. I feel like it's a gymnastics specific thing because other sports aren't like that. When you have that intimidation factor, when you have those upperclassmen, usually you feel pressure, right? But the way gymnastics and the camaraderie is and get welcome, do you think it's different in gymnastics than any other sport, Daniel?
Yeah, I just think that the room for, I mentioned it earlier, the room for error is so small and you have to rely on each other and the skills are so hard and you could beat yourself up over little things. And if you don't have that support system, like it'll probably eat you alive. It's like baseball as a hitter. If you're in a slump, like sometimes you need the tough love, but a lot of times you just need someone to be like, hey man, like just make contact and it'll fall, but I think that has a lot to do with it because a lot of that camaraderie is, I think each other and the culture that is set, they want to see each other succeed, and like, I think as a coach, that's why I found coaching being so much more, refreshing and more enjoyable than actually playing is because I loved watching other people succeed.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, especially when you have a well-run team like Oklahoma on top of just the character of those girls. And you brought up Danny. We've had her on here for Athletes of Faith too. I've never seen someone that I would want to be teammates with more, but I tell her, like, her smile is infectious, right? Like, I feel like every time I see her, whether on TV or in person, she's just always smiling. And it's hard not to, want to be around somebody like that. And especially because, like I said, they're all winners. So, I mean, like I said, what a time for you to join. And, talking about the tickets we got earlier, Oklahoma City. So I know you have a meet before that, correct? I
believe so. I think we do.
Yeah, but obviously you got to be your first focus. But when you think about that event and you think about the girls that are going to be there, and you were talking about being starstruck, right, by the girls at Oklahoma, how do you as a freshman, when all that's going on, you got 4 teams doing all the events, how do you stay focused and not like become a fan, right? Like, and watching everything that's going on, because that's the event, right? All the best teams, best of the best, doing it. Like, how do you stay locked in a moment like that? I'm curious, because that's what I'm thinking is, if I was in your shoes, like, I'd be watching, might pull my phone out, start recording. I don't know.
Right. I think definitely you're going to feel nerves and adrenaline, and I'm expecting that. But something I used to do in my club career was I'd be like, okay, I have blinders on. I got blinders, and I'm just going to trust my training. And we do thousands of reps of the same thing all the time. And so the consistency is going to help with, everything going around me, and I will be able to focus better. But it's definitely going to be an exciting moment. First year competing for Oklahoma, and just being in that big environment. Like, I'm so excited. It's going to be great.
And I mean, and looking across the whole schedule, like, obviously brought up February 14th, but just a lot of opportunity, for Oklahoma to go against the other best teams and really, be battle tested for when you get to the postseason. So really excited to see what y'all do. But, you were talking about bars wasn't the, favorite event for you. If you could pick the one event that you can be a part of and make yourself, a significant part of this team as a freshman, if you could pick that one event, where would you want to make the impact at?
I think vault for sure. I definitely think that that's somewhere that I would love to contribute and leave a good impact for the team and be able to, add to the scores and everything.
Well, I think from everything I heard, you're going to make an impact. And, with the team that y'all have, I feel like, there's going to be opportunity to get yourself in there, even with that many characters, because I've seen the way Oklahoma works and the way the coaching is, because I think it's always a disservice not rotating and mixing in girls. And so hopefully you get to have a lot of opportunities and maximize those opportunities.
Yes.
The big thing is Jim, as you guys were talking, I was looking at the schedule. They open up in Nashville. January 4th.
So now she's going to get a Nashville music concert and Mardi Gras because of locations.
Well,
I was saying here.
The reason I bring that up is, Lizzy, you might want to check out the tour dates for old Zach Bryan since you're in Nashville. That might be like, what happens if it lines up like that?
That would be crazy.
If it did, like, that would be like you would have to go, because that would be like the universe speaking to you. Like, you'd have to check that out.
Right.
Well, he's not, but I'll tell you what, he's coming her way. He's got December 12th, 13th, and 14th. He's in Oklahoma.
Ooh. I might have to get some tickets.
It's not Nashville, but you're still going to see him.
That's true.
Could you imagine him playing Oklahoma Smoke Show in Oklahoma?
Wow. That would be, the crowd would go wild.
I mean, that would be a chant.
Daniel, like, send him a DM, man. Tell him it's got to happen.
Because he's clearly got time for me.
He might. You never know. Shoot your shot.
Never know. Right.
Holla at my boy. For those of y'all listening,
I mean, we're not going to pretend that I haven't gotten some of the biggest names we have by just shooting my shot in DMs. You never know.
You're right. You never know.
I love it, Lizzy. Sometimes, we get connected through networking, but sometimes people are like, how did you get them on your show? And I'm talking about like before we were established.
I just
asked them and they said yes.
All right, Lizzy, before we get you out of here, we got to play a game called This or That. this game has swept the nation, and I'm sure you've heard about it. I'm sure you woke up this morning just ready to play, and I'm sure everyone's been talking about it.
Oh yeah.
From California to Florida, everywhere in between, 400 plus athletes have played this game. So it's very simple. I'm going to give you two options. You choose one option or the other. Just can't say both, can't say neither. Just be decisive. Go with your heart, go with your head, go with your gut, whatever it takes. Just pick one.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, Jim, this or that. Who is it brought to you by?
Chinook Seedery. We set up our first ambassador NIL deal with a gymnast, and it was from Oklahoma. I'm looking it up now to make sure I don't misquote. But not only can you get 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game, Daniel, less salt, no sandpaper tongue, but you can help out Faith Torres from Oklahoma Gymnastics. Put in code FAITH-T, simple, FAITH-T, and help her out, and you'll get a discount. So go on over to Chinook Seedery, get the best seeds in the game.
Let's go. All right, Lizzy, you ready for this?
I'm
Question
ready.
1. Coffee or energy drink?
Ooh, coffee.
How do you take your coffee? Are you straight black? You throw in some pumpkin spice in there, maybe some peppermint, like just seasonal cold coffee? What are you going with here?
I'm definitely a latte kind of girl. I like my fancy coffees, little iced
Daniel,
coffee.
I had a Starbucks this weekend. I know you'd be proud of me because Daniel's all about his Starbucks. I'm not really a coffee guy, but I had the white chocolate latte.
Ooh, how was that?
It's fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. I hated telling Daniel this right now because now he's gonna try to get me a
been
Starbucks.
drinking hot chocolate. Hey man, can you just give me a hot chocolate, but make it sound like it's not hot chocolate?
He would go to Starbucks every day in Omaha, and he'd be like, "What do you want?" I'm going inside with like a cup of ice, and he's like, "You don't want anything to drink?" I'm like, "No, give me some ice for my water. I didn't want none of that stuff."
Oh my goodness.
That's how we rolled. All right, tacos or pizza?
Probably tacos. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Daniel, switch this up now that we know what she likes and doesn't like.
I really can't say bars.
Too late. Floor or bars?
Floor.
All right. Beam or vault?
Ooh. Honestly, depends on the day, but I would say vault.
All right.
Anybody who says beam is a psychopath.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like beam. It just, depends.
I like beam until I fall off of it.
That's true.
Floor or vault?
Vault.
Wow. Big winner. The vault.
Yeah.
The big winner. I see you. All right. Would you rather live in the country or live in the city?
Probably the city.
What would you do in the city? Like, what is I say, what would you do? But if that's your attraction, why the city? Like, what is the one thing that you feel like you need to do by living in the city?
It tells me she had to cut grass at home. That's what we're finding out here.
I mean, she probably is like, I lived in Mandeville with 7 other people, and most of them were my family. So it was time to bounce. No, it's
That's very true.
Is it because it's the opposite of everything you've known, or is it like you want the big city life? You want to be able to walk, wherever. Like, I enjoy that aspect of living in a big city. Mm-hmm. If I was to live in a big city, it would be downtown in the hustle and bustle, and I would want to do like public transit or like.
Well, Daniel, you remember that when we were in Chicago for your bachelor trip? That one morning, I just wandered around the city and walked for 3 hours because you can do that in a beautiful city like that. It's just walk and just admire everything that's around you.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know how big of a city I would want to live in, but I think definitely more things to do, more people, just a bigger area than my hometown, just something different.
Just don't pick Memphis. It's not safe.
Really? I don't know anything about Memphis, so.
It's number 1 on the crime list. That's where we come from.
It's all
fun.
Good. All right. Would you rather roller skate or ice skate?
ice skate because in Louisiana there is no snow, no ice, no nothing. So if I can ice skate whenever they do like the little indoor rinks, or if I can go somewhere where it's cold, definitely ice skate.
Right. Beach or lake?
Beach.
Ooh, beach. I don't mind the beach. The problem with the beach is that it's an all-day event for me. Like, I got to pack up a bunch of stuff. I got to throw my kids in the car and like
Mhm.
put sunscreen on one of them every 10
Sand.
minutes, and the sand gets all still. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind all that, but it's just the stuff you have to do prior to getting there is
Who
what I
came
don't.
on here a couple weeks ago and said the lake if we're on a boat? And I was like, who goes to the lake without a boat? I don't even
I
know who
know.
said that.
That's
That was
true.
not even in a thought process.
Yeah. If you give me the option of a lake, I'm just making the assumption that there's a boat.
Yeah, I feel like
I've
lake
never
and
been.
together.
Yeah. All right. Would you rather be an unknown superhero or a famous villain?
Ooh, unknown superhero. I feel like that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, what would your superhero power be?
Honestly, either to fly or to be able to read minds.
Ooh, reading minds would be good. That would
Yeah.
be really good. All right.
Yep.
All right. You can only have one of these for the rest of your life. Shampoo or deodorant?
Oh no. Probably deodorant. I don't want to be smelling bad. I think I can live with a little bit of greasy hair.
Yeah, I think so.
So Daniel, I was glad I was able to stay for this question. Lizzy, we had a couple different guests that played Survivor on here, and we had one that talked about, because the question was asked if they smell bad out there, and he said that you get used to it around the people you're with every day, but then when the tribes come together, you can smell the other people and you realize not only do they smell rancid, he said, but that's what you smell like too. And so
Oh,
it was like one of those things you think about out there. They don't have deodorant, shampoo, toothpaste, or anything. And it's
right.
like, oh, that's gross.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But
Rough.
if you win $1 million, it's worth it.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
that's so
there's a
true.
lot of things I'd do for $1 million,
I don't
and
know if I can not brush my teeth for 30 days, dude.
I could do that in a second for $1
I mean,
million.
I go one day and it's gross, so I don't think so.
It ain't fun, but it could be done for sure. All right, Lizzy, last question. This is the big one.
All right.
What would you rather have? $5 million or a national championship?
National championship. 100%.
Like if I gave you a briefcase full of, crispy bills and it had $5 million on it, I said, you could just take this, Lizzy. This is yours. Or on the other side, I have the big wooden national championship trophy, and I go, here, this is yours. You're
Yeah.
taking national championship? Really?
I don't know what I would do with $5 million, honestly. I don't know if I'm responsible enough to handle that kind of money. And I think a national championship is worth $5 million, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this. Let's get over the Jordan Bowers question. We asked Jordan, would she want to win her third or $25 million? So basically 3 national championships. I'm asking you, Lizzy, you want to get a three-peat, or do you want $25 million? Are we still saying you don't need that money?
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money, but
It's a lot of boats.
Let me tell you something, Lizzy. If you didn't know what to do with the money,
I can help
I
you.
think you could quickly find out.
You could call me. I'll help you spend it.
I'm pretty sure you could quickly find out what to do with it.
No,
Probably.
you're right, though. Your teammates have told us that there's no price tag you can put on their 2 championships and the way they've done it. And based upon what we've said to you, just from what we've seen watching them, I believe every bit of it, because they look like they're having the time of their life.
Definitely.
Show. All right, before you bounce, anything you want to plug or promote?
Be sure to watch Oklahoma Gymnastics. I think it's going to be a really exciting year. I think we have a lot to show. We have a really strong team. First year in the SEC is going to be huge. Right off the bat, we're going against big-time SEC schools. So we're going to be working hard right from the beginning all the way to the end. But I think it's going to be a great year for us, and we're looking really strong, and I'm really excited to show what we have. So,
Daniel, I got one for you. If you go to her Instagram, straight up Lizzy Blessey, and this merch right here, Daniel, this black hoodie with Blessey on the back, the Oklahoma Gymnastics, that's yeah. The red and black, it goes hard, Daniel.
It goes
hard. Jump on there and get your merch.
Wait a minute. Where are you
check it out? We're gonna see if you would wear it.
I'm checking it out. So go to Instagram. What am I looking at now?
Her very first post is at the top. Anyway, you can see the 3 different hoodies and sweatshirts underneath that black hoodie that says Blessey with the Oklahoma Gymnastics logo. I'm buying that. I'm wearing that to an Oklahoma meet. I can't wear it to the LSU meet, obviously. Get me in trouble.
Yep. Can't do
that. I will wear it to Norman.
Look at that. That's okay. Okay, go ahead, Lizzy. With your Oklahoma black. Y'all doing big things over there in Norman. I see.
Yeah.
I see it.
And if that doesn't work for you, you can watch one of her TikTok videos with some of the other in off the bench guests acting a fool. That's always entertainment too.
Yep.
Sure. I mean,
what would we do without TikTok in this world, Daniel?
I mean, toilet time would go a lot faster.
Too much information. Too much.
I mean, I think that's a given fact these days. People know.
Well, it's because you're not actually going to the bathroom. I've sat in there on my phone for 20 minutes and I was never actually even going. That's a quiet place where I can be left alone. When kids are running around, you got to go to your safe space.
I'll tell you, Lizzy agreed to come on here to have toilet talk. I can't believe this. We've lowered ourselves to this. But I will say this, all right? Oklahoma Gymnastics, you got the Sooner Spotlight on the 6th of December. That's in a few weeks. Music City Collegiate Championship starting on January 4th, Auburn, BYU, Nebraska. And then you got the big one, Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad, Oklahoma City. You got Cal, you got LSU, you got Utah, and then you guys jump into SEC conference action. A lot of big things in store for you guys.
The SEC inheriting Oklahoma in gymnastics and softball is tough. They don't lose in either.
Nope.
Yes.
They are for sure winners. Lizzy, appreciate you. Wish you a happy, safe, successful season. And who knows, maybe we'll have you back on. We're definitely going to have you back on, but maybe we're recapping a championship season.
No, I'm only doing it if she wins a national championship now.
Wow.
If not, I'm taking my $5 million and going elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for talking. I really appreciate it. And this was great. It was really fun.
Absolutely. That is Lizzy Blessey, everybody. If you like hearing Lizzy's story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook. Retweet us on X. Listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. Going over to YouTube, hit subscribe, hit notifications, hit the like button, hit every button known to man. That way, when we do drop content, you'll be the first person to know. As always, comments, ratings, feedback, thumbs up, hearts, hugs, loves. We'll take it all. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night. Jim, what we got? Schedule.
We got Grid League tomorrow night with the owners of the Atlanta Wild. And then Wednesday, man, traveling to Athens, star closer on the baseball field, Alton Davis. So we're doing gymnastics, Grid League, and baseball. Got a very diverse week, mixing it up.
Jam-packed, and you won't want to miss it. As always, this has been the In Off the Bench podcast. Strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.